If you're looking for Magic cards, look no further than Flipside Gaming. They have all the latest Magic singles and product that you need to actually leave the house and battle in Magic the Gathering. And right now, if you would like to save 10% on your orders from Flipside Gaming, use the promo code CGB at checkout. That is promo code CGB. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we are on day one of Ravnica Allegiance. And the first thing I of course want to do is get in and pick up some packs. So proper pack opening today. This is my own personal account. This is the one where I get to keep the cards I open instead of the sponsored account, which I only have access to for 24 hours. So I'm really excited to see what we crack today. All right, let's get some packs. Welcome to the Ravnica Allegiance update. You can still only buy your packs with 1,000 gold or a bunch of gems. As you see, I am on 0 gems. So, oh, look at this little scroller bar. They did some work on the store. It is a little laggy, you can see. This did just launch, so often there is some lag when everybody is downloading the exact same client and doing the same things on the client at the same time, so I won't be surprised to see some lag here today. Anyway, a pack, a pack, a pack, a pack, a pack, a pack. We might be here a minute. I guess I could talk in the meantime. Is there some other way to do it? There's some other way to do it? Nope, we're just gonna be here a hot minute. All right, so, oh, there is one thing. Redeem code, play Allegiance. Play Allegiance, I think, is a current code that does work and gets you a free sealed entry. So I may not be a big sealed fan. I may not actually play the sealed, to be honest, but I at least get the cards. So remember the code Play Allegiance out there for your free sealed event. And we'll just be here clicking this. I had a wonderful time yesterday. I want to thank everybody who came over from YouTube. And the support from YouTube yesterday of people who showed up at the stream on Twitch was really amazing. So thank you so much for that. And I got to tell a whole bunch more people on Twitch who noticed the stream about our exciting exploits over here on the YouTube channel. For those of you who hated on my video for its lack of quote-unquote content, it really was meant to be a bit of a joke and a teaser to get you to come over to Twitch. However, if it failed in its job, so be it. I will live, I will learn, I will do better. I thought it was very funny, and based on some of the things about it on Twitter that I read, I think some people thought it was funny, but some people found absolutely no humor in the video, and therefore, to them, sorry/not sorry. On one hand, yeah, I'm sorry that I feel like I wasted your time. I never mean to do that. But on the other hand, it was pretty funny. I thought it was a very funny video in that the 15-minute build-up just made the payoff at the end more worth it. Some people may have higher value for their time than just getting a laugh out of it. I thought it was funny. Anyway, that's just me sharing my thoughts there. The stream, I got to play against some of my heroes in Magic. I got to play against Brad Nelson and Paulo Vita Dama de Rosa. And I got to play against William Huey Jensen, and all of it was very exciting. And as some people told me, I played against Marcio Carvalho, who is an excellent player, by the way, and one of the absolute greatest in the world right now, and absolutely killing it. And that was on the YouTube video, which I didn't even realize that was his handle. And now I know that. Andrea Mengucci is another one whose handle I learned during the stream, which is very exciting. So yeah, it was just a lot of, let's see, they said on Twitch I need a fangirl emote because I was just very excited to get to battle these titans of the game. And I might be able to throw together a highlight reel from that stream to share with all of you. So that might be fun. But stay tuned to the channel, of course, for that. Today it's all about getting into that new format, that new content. And there we go. We cashed in a month's worth of grinding and gold hoarding to get 131 packs. Let's see how much of the set we can crack here on day one. We're going to do 10x to move this baby along. So you're not going to see the commons and uncommons here. but you will see a whole bunch of the rares and mythics. This is a card I can't wait to do something memey with. I'm thinking of blowing up all my treasures, making a million 3/3s, and attacking for lethal. It's kind of like, that's kind of like the Antiquities War, but it's instant speed, so it might be a little better. This card played pretty well in the Aristocrats builds that we played yesterday on stream. I enjoyed this card every time I had it. It is the blue-white card of my dreams. Mesmerizing Benthid I still have not used, but do you like Octopi, my friends? Here we go. This card, when it died, it broke my heart. And when it lived and I got to use it, even once, it warmed my heart so much. So I'm looking forward to doing more builds with the Priest of Forgotten Gods. What a beating. Endray's Forerunners I have yet to cast. Bedezzle was amazing. Immolation Shaman I have yet to cast. Glass of the Guild Pact I have yet to use, but I probably should. I have a deck with a lot of multicolored creatures, so this could be a lot of fun. Font of Agonies, I built a vampire deck around this, and with Adanto Vanguard, Argyl's Bloodfast, and some other life loss mechanisms, just being able to kill things at will. It was actually really fun. It felt like combos. Really happy to see the Stomping Grounds and Blood Crypts. Those will be rare wildcard cash-ins regardless if I miss any. Sphinx of Foresight did better than I thought it did would do in a mid-range deck, which could reliably cast it as well as make sure that the draw was good. And in best of one, that's a big deal. So if I have a blue mid-range deck, I may be trying this again. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, draw a card. At 5 mana, I think that's too much. Godless Shrine, great. Smothering Tithe, I think, is really bad, but I do have in mind a Revel in Riches Emergency Powers Smothering Tithe deck. Gutter Bones was just fine, just exactly what I thought it would be. A good card. Alright, don't you love filling up your wildcard meter that way? Holy crap. There's Emergency Powers, we talked about it. Looks like a really fun one. This I did not get to play yesterday, so has yet to be done. Variety Circle says that Blue Prison is back on the menu, boys. So that could be enjoyable. Kaya's Wrath. Blowing up Gruul decks was wonderful. I'm still looking forward to casting Cindervines. I haven't used it yet. I don't think the Guardian Project is a serious card except in Singleton. And there you go, Precognitive Perception. I really liked this card when I cast it, but it's hard to get me to not enjoy drawing 3 cards. We didn't get to use the Utopian Speaker, but I saw it around. Some other players cast it. And then we also have the Lumbering Battlement. Rah, this could be a very fun Mimi card. The Plaza of Harmony is interesting, as I think having this in a gate deck could be enjoyable. And then Teysa did some nasty things in the Orzhov deck, so I'm looking forward to playing with Teysa a bit more. Hiya! Kaya shows up, and there's our first Prime Speaker, Xanafer, who I really enjoyed yesterday. I would recommend trying this out, and this card makes for some memeage that I saw that I can't wait to try to replicate. That is, this plus a Hydroid Crassus looks way too fun. Thrash Thread is a great card. I'm really excited to be using it. More Warrants are great. Pestilent Spirit didn't do much. I don't know if this is as good as I first hoped it was. And Revival did a neat thing. It got back a Judith once. It also got back a Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Oh, look! I have acquired these. I guess that's my Play Allegiance code coming in. There. Play Allegiance dumped some packs on me. So remember to use that code, Play Allegiance, in the store, my friends. Yay, Mordu Land. Ravager Worm was excellent. Somebody did Unbreakable Formation and crush me with it. Judith was amazing. The Rakdos deck just seems so ridiculous, but not just Rakdos, like Mardu aggro, Jund aggro seem ridiculous. And this card was everywhere yesterday in the release event, Growth Chamber Guardian. Bring on more Judiths. People did try to showstop me, but I never got to see the animation. Simic Ascendancy, we tried. Didn't get close. I think the most counters I ever got on it were 9. It's really annoying that you have to put the counters on Simic Ascendancy. That doesn't just count the number of counters on the battlefield, because I had this out with enough counters, with like creatures with that many +1/+1 counters, but I couldn't win the game with it. So, whatever. Bedeck was a lot better than I expected, and definitely like a 1 or 2 of in my Rakdos decks. And Tidetaker was alright. Absorb, of course, wonderful. And look at the mythic wildcards. Yeah, baby. Angel of Grace. I got to play this once, and it did deal lethal right after I flashed it in, but small sample size. While the Hellkite was everywhere and was very good, putting a counter on this and then untapping with it and just terrorizing the opponent's battlefield was better than I thought it would be. I thought it was a lot better. Making it into a 5/5 gets it around Lava Coil, and then you just say go. It's usually bigger than whatever the opponent would attack with, so they can't attack you. Then you untap, and you just like mana sync with it. You just start pouring mana into it and tearing up the board. It was really great. And what else here? Ethereal Absolution. I got to use this, and it just decimated a mono blue deck. All their creatures were dead before they hit the battle, like as they hit the battlefield, before anything could be done to them. Nothing was curious. No curious obsessions happened. It was great. Oh, there's that vault. The vault is still here. The vault is going off. Zagana. Dovin showed up. Dovin was okay. I'm still not sold on Dovin being amazing. It was perfectly fine, but I often just wish I could have History of Benalia, Heroic Reinforcements, and things like that. Now, you can play this with those cards, but the Jeskai aggro deck I had did very poorly. This with like a blue-white sort of aggro did fine, but I'd just rather have Heroic Reinforcements. Now, this card was pretty awesome. Much better than I thought it would be. The Mardu aggro deck that I alluded to was really good and kind of built on this, with this being the only monocolor card in the whole deck. And then having cards like Heroic Reinforcements to pump those tokens. It was glorious. Incubation Druid was everywhere. A Deputy of Detention was pretty good. Incubation Druid was great. I'm really hyped about that card as well. Keep them coming. Alright. Theater of Horrors was okay. This card has not sold me yet. I played it in a number of the decks, but every time I played it, I felt like I was getting behind. The format yesterday was extremely aggressive, but if it was Control and I was playing Theater of Horrors, I was having a hard time getting value out of it, because if the Control deck focused on removing the ways to damage them, I had to pay 4 mana to use the Theater, and that's just not a very good turn when the opponent is Teferrying and starting to get ahead that way. So I'm worried about this card a little more. I was more hyped about it. Maybe it's just the games I played it in. Moving right along, we've got another Priest of the Forgotten Gods, another Thrash, another Godless Shrine. It's just a nice little accompanying pack, although more Simic Ascendancy, more Smothering Tithe, which Smothering Tithe I don't think is ever going to be a thing, but like I said, that Emergency Power, Revel in Riches. Maybe you'll see a sweet janky brew one of these days. It's going to take some testing. It will not be this day. Moving right along. Awaken the Erskine. 5 mana. Each player discards all cards in their hand. Create that many 2/2 zombies. I do have some ideas for this. I'm not going to spoil them now. Now, this is a card that was everywhere and amazing. Brutal Spellbreaker. And I originally thought it might be a 2 or 3 of to craft. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be crafting 4. So this card went way up in my eyes. It was absolutely destroying everything. Domri was as well, although I still think that it may want to be a 1 of, maybe 2 isn't out of the question. But Domri was really good. I don't think we've seen it here in the openings yet. Nothing here new, so we can keep going along. Electro Dominance, I still haven't seen an amazing Electro Dominance moment. And we're down to the last 4 here on the packs. So let's flip them open. What do we got? Unbreakable Formation. All right. Drill Bit in the house, and Pestilent Spirit again. Okay. Now, is this like a music change if I do this? Hear that? Ah, I get a little beat change. Alright. It's like the, you're about to open a pack hype, and then it's the, you opened a pack, be in awe music. Biomancer's Familiar is a card we tried out. Not the biggest fan, a little too vulnerable, but there are some fun memories to be done. And Revival Revenge. Alright, that concludes the pack opening section, but we can cash for some wild cards. Hit me up, please. I need them. We've got a lot of new cards to craft and a lot to do with them. So let's get into a deck. And okay, the deck I decided to play some games with here for this video is the Mardu Hero of Precinct One Judith the Scourge Diva deck. And part of the reason I wanted to show it is, one, I really enjoyed it yesterday, but two, I want to show the mania that is available when you have all your shock lands and all your check lands. We have 24 lands. It's a 100% rare mana base. 100%. All shock lands, all check lands. Now, since we're a very, very, very aggressive deck, we don't really mind if we have to take damage putting our creatures onto the putting our lands onto the battlefield to play our creatures on time. So if we're on the draw against another aggro deck, this may look very bad, but when you're on the play, this is an absolute smashing. We're running a 24 lands because we top out on Aurelia, Exemplar of Justice, and Heroic Reinforcements, although sometimes we also cast Carnage from that spot as well. And we have just a number of new cards. We're running a Revival, we're running a Bedeck, we're running Hero of Precinct One, which whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 human creature token, and every other spell is multicolored. So only the heroes are monocolored. Every other card will create extra 1/1s off the hero. Maybe that's going a little deep on the hero, but I'm willing to do it. It is day one of the format after all. Let's have some fun with it. Let's go crazy. Let's push it as far as it can go. Then I've got Tajic, I've got Judith, I've got Mortify for a little removal, Theater of Hortus for a little advantage, and Heroic Reinforcements and Aurelia for finishers. Let's go battle. We're on the play with a terrible hand. Did we get better? Not really. I'm going to need one of the lands that enters the battle. I'm going to need a shock land, but I don't get it. So away we go, and is it mono red? Ooh, we got a shock land right off the top. Well, that's nice to see. Now we're dumping Boros Challenger. It's not the Hero of Precinct One, but it's something. And we'll see what our opponent has for us. So you see here the 88th percent. This is a mythic ranked 88% player. So that's what happens when you fall out of the top 1,000, as me and my brewing kind of fun happy-go-luckiness is kind of on the verge of. Here comes my challenger. What you got? All right, damage. Cool. How about another challenger? And a land. And go. Carnival Carnage ready to roast, but our opponent's showing us 2 mountains and no plays. I do think they have a shock, but I'm not sure where this is going. All right, we're passing the turn with a detection tower. Now I'm really confused. All right, let's go to attacks. Hiya. So we could have gone for Mentor there with a pump. I guess you could say I'm way too wary of an opponent having some kind of removal spell, since they seem to refuse to play things. I'm going to use the Carnage side and deal 3 damage to them and make them discard 2 cards. I think that that's a better use of my mana than pumping the Boros Challenger possibly into a removal spell. With risk factor, I'm going to take the damage and not give my opponent the cards. I would much rather race them from this position, since we have a board presence and they don't. Not trying to mute ya. Don't know what's going on with that. And Ritual of Rejuvenation is a discard, along with another risk factor. So this is a red-white risk factor life gain deck. What an odd contraption we're up against. That's a draw, my friends. Let's see if we can end the game here. Here's Heroic Reinforcements. Hiya! What have you got? Mana is tapping. Here comes a removal spell. And we finally got a removal spell out of our opponent. But we still get to attack in and mentor one of our tokens. And now here comes a shock, almost certainly for the token being mentored. So the opponent's decent at tapping, but they're still taking damage and continuing to fall further and further down on life. Revival Revenge can get back one of the challengers. Primal Amulet. It's a Primal Amulet deck, but unfortunately Carnage is going to end the game for our opponent. There will be no action for them. Good game? Yep, good game to you too. And the beats. Considering they didn't draw white mana, that was very polite of them. Well, our hand is very slow and it's on the draw. On best of one, I don't feel good about mulliganing these hands, but it's hard to say what I would beat with this hand. I really have to draw my 2-drops to have any chance, but I'm going to take the chance, and we'll see where it goes. It is just a game after all. Okie dokie. Turn 1, Mistcloaked Herald, and another 4-drop off the top. About as poor as I could have drawn it up. Alright, that's not Curious Obsession. Praise Jesus if you do that. That's a thing that you do. Not saying you have to. Alright. Boom. 2 straight. Never the 2-drop I need, man. Just heartbreaker. But just imagine, if you will, that we had drawn the Hero of Precinct One. How different our lives could be. Tajic, come on down, but you can't attack because Tempest Jin is so good. Mistcloaked Herald is not attacking. What is the meaning of this? Well, Merfolk Trickster, perhaps? But that doesn't really do anything. Dive down, perhaps? Let's see if the opponent counters this Heroic Reinforcements. I have a feeling they will. And because of that, I don't want to play the Aurelia. That resolving can actually square up against Tempest Jin. But Mistcloaked Herald should attack if it's not going to block. And now, yeah, opponent got the memo this time. Again, they're holding up mana, so I'm going to run the play back and make them use another counter. The card that can cut them off here is the Aurelia, so that's the one that we want to resolve. So that will be the last one that we play. And is there another counterspell? That's the question now, my friends. I could try to bait it out by playing Carnival Carnage for 1 damage upon the Mistcloaked Herald. I just don't think that's actually going to work. Let's see, though. Let's give it a shot. What you got? Maybe the opponent's willing to like spring a dive down or something of that nature. Okay, they let that go. Now we'll try for Aurelia. Resolves. Okay. Pump that Tajic, I suppose. Here's the Trickster. That will tap the Tajic. See, oh, double Trickster? Okay, double Trickster is lethal. So I think that's a good example of a hand not to keep with this deck. And yeah, obviously I lose. The opponent's going to play out some toys. I don't know why. I really don't care. But, yep, good example of a hand not to keep. This hand has 5 lands and is therefore unkeepable for an aggressive deck that tops out at 4. So away with you. And sort of a curve. If we draw a good 2-drop, we're fine, and we have so many in the deck that we have a chance. I can't really get rid of the Mortify, though. It's so nice to have a removal spell available that I'll keep it. especially on the draw again. And a Fanatical Firebrand is going to be the play. Well, on the draw against red, I'm going to play a land tapped. The idea there is that my Footlight Fiend can... I don't want to pay the life, and I want my opponent to have 2 creatures when I play the Fiend. I don't want my opponent using the Firebrand on the Fiend and forcing me to target the opponent. I want to be able to kill, say, a Viashino Pyromancer with the Fiend. Yes, yes, good, good. Alright, down to 16 already, and here comes the Footlight Fiend, and it's good to draw this land because it won't cost me life. But we are going to need more threats. Drawing 4 land is the most we want to draw. So this is an annoying little thing, because if the opponent's going to remove it, it's going to take out one of their creatures no matter what. Runaway Steamkin, okay. It's a good Mortify target. Another Fanatical Firebrand, okay. A lot of small creatures. How does the opponent play this? Everybody in, okay. Let's block the Pyromancer, make sure it dies. It prevents 2 damage instead of 1. And then we'll use the Fiend's triggered ability to kill a Firebrand as well, getting us a cheap 1 mana 2 for 1. Although the opponent was able to take it out on a life total, so good for them. Now I'll pass over. We'll see what the opponent does with the Steamkin. They may want to try to pump it up. So before another counter resolves, we'll Mortify it, but it may affect how they sequence their cards here. But I'm not going to take damage from the Steamkin. We're definitely going to Mortify away at it. Let's see what conclusion the opponent comes to about making a play here. They go 3 mana to Wizard's Lightning the face, even though the Steamkin still dies. Interesting choice of timing. Felt like a revenge move. I'll play Judith the Scourge Diva here, because if the opponent kills it, I can take the Firebrand down with her, even though she doesn't have any friends yet. But if she makes it through the turn, Tajic and Judith are good friends. We're also getting to where Heroic Reinforcements and Judith are good friends too. Shock for Judith, yep. But Judith does trigger, and we'll kill the Firebrand, cutting off that damage from now on. Another point to our face, I'm sure. Now the question is, are there any more creatures? Not at this time. Okay. So with that in mind, I think I'll play, actually, Heroic Reinforcements. I think if I play Tajic, it will get struck or shocked, and I think if I play Challenger, it will get struck or shocked. But at least Reinforcements puts 2 creatures on the board. And we can start hitting. The last card could also be Experimental Frenzy, and if it is, we might see it right here. Let's see what happens. Alright, passing back over to me. I don't want to pay the 2 life to go Challenger Tajic here. I think I'm going to keep on using Heroic and hitting them as hard as I can and save these creatures, because I think these are the targets that I don't want to get hit by removal spells. Wow, that is really resolving scarily easy. Now we have these 2, which is 6 damage out of nowhere for next turn. Well, no, it's not. This is 4 damage out of nowhere for next turn. So not quite lethal. There's a Lava Coil, so there was some removal being held. It just wasn't at instant speed. Wow. Why not? Triple Reinforcements. Take that, Red Mage. We survived. Our We were able to use, I think what I liked about that's different from how the red matchup has been in the past, is cards like Footlight Fiend and Judith, when they died, also took down our opponent's little red creatures with them. And with that happening, we were able to get back in the game. Pack. What do we got? Another Utopian Speaker. I think that's got to be our 4th one, though. I'm pretty sure I saw 3 go by in the opening. All right, our opponent goes first, but we have a Carnival, which can take out an Llanowar Elf or other early threat, followed by a Swiftblade Vindicator or Boros Challenger, and if we draw any land, Judith, and if we draw any 2 lands, Heroic Reinforcements. So that, to me, is a keep. Opponent's going to open on a mountain. Drawing the Footlight Fiend is interesting, so I'll pay 2 life and get it onto the battlefield, because damage is gold. The more you can deal, the better. This time, so last time I slow rolled that, but this time without a creature on the battlefield. Okay, shock the face. Opponent trying to ignore the Footlight Fiend. This might be a pure burn deck, so we have to clock them. I don't think I want to play a Vindicator into a Chain Whirler. Let's start by attacking with the Fiend. And let's put out the Challenger, which can represent a lot of damage if left alone. And the Lightning Strike goes to the Challenger. So Shock went face, Strike went Challenger. The opponent changing plans mid-battle. Here's a Fanatical Firebrand. Very annoying card against our Swiftblade Vindicator, so the right play, I think, is to Carnival Carnage it immediately. And I'm going to keep getting in with the Fiend instead of playing around more haste creatures. That may be a mistake. And the strike goes face. Being mana screwed is not fun, but hey, magic is magic. Better than being flooded. And another Challenger. The opponent continues to be bipolar between where to stick a lightning bolt. And I think they're just doing a simple, like, what does more damage calculation and going where they decide to. Wow. Alright. Light up the stage, hits, a land and a land. I do wish those were back on top of your deck, but I guess it works. Let's put out the Swiftblade Vindicator. And now a land for Judith would be really clutch if the opponent ignores the Vindicator. Dear God. Alright, we drew the land, but it's a bit late. We got to Bedeck this Chain Whirler now, which puts us on the defensive, and is not how we want to be spending our mana. So, Bedeck, Bedazzle, +3, -3 to target creature. Okay, now what? I think I go for the Hero. If Hero sticks, it can produce a lot of threats, and then maybe Heroic can get there. If we draw land into Heroic, we might just make it. Opponent with the All-Bolt deck. The All-Bolt deck. Land. Okay, not quite. Yep. And what is it? It's a land. Land for us, please. Alright. One more turn. Yep. How frustrating. How frustrating. I feel like we have our lands and a curve for the first time in an hour and a half of recording. Let's see what happens. Our opponent keeps a 6 with a scry to the bottom, opening on a Clifftop Retreat. Here comes the Fiend. A little Footlight that could here. I love the art on this. I know that my face is kind of in the way, but if you look at it off to the right, it's like the little things that light the way to the stage are actually devils with candles on their heads. That's so creepy. That is so super creep. All right, treasure map. Let's get that damage in. And they pass the turn. Oh my. So we could play Judith, which would get killed and not get damage in. I think we'll play Tajic since we have two of them. Taj and Judith both kind of play as a way to get a whole bunch more damage on the field on turn 3, and really they kick the deck into high gear. Alright, let's do that mentor train. Here's a mentor. There's a mentor. Everywhere a mentor, mentor. And if the opponent doesn't make something magical happen, ugh. I really wish that had been a better game, considering we finally had a good hand. No white mana. Ouch. What a great hand with no white mana. So let's try. Let's top deck that white mana. We just need one. We just need one after all. What a sick burn that is. Ah! Yes, we did it. All right. Well, I don't have a lot of hope for this card living, but let's see what happens. It resolved. Guildmage's Forum and a disinformation campaign. Oh my god, this is going to be a beating. This is going to be such a beating. Ritual of Soot, of course, can fix a lot of things that go wrong, but just to give you an idea of what can happen, the only thing that could upgrade this is Heroic Reinforcements. Maybe I'll just draw it off the top. The opponent will kill the hero for sure. I guess if they have the Golden Demise card, though, having this out of range of that new Golden Demise effect is a good move. And they gotta have the ritual. Do they have it? They have Thought Erasure. Okay, you get my Swiftblade Vindicator. Disinfo will come back, of course. The card was kept on top. It must be a solution to this board. Oh my god, that rip. I wonder if they found a counter spell. There's only one way to know. Oh my lord, the beats. Hit him up. Oh yes. That's what the deck was made to do. I hope that you enjoyed a few games with the deck Mardu Hero. I felt like it didn't quite play even as good as it could. So I think there's a lot of potential here. I'm not saying it's the definitive list, and yeah, the mana base is all rares. You could probably edit that in some way and get away with it. You could probably cut down to 3 of several of the shock lands, and maybe even cut a check land or 2 and run some basics and still get good results. So play with that. Don't think that this is the committed mana base that you need and just write off the deck. And also don't think that this deck list is finished. I wanted to take it out, take it for a spin, and just show you how ridiculous it can be. I hope that you enjoyed this video. There's many more coming from Ravnica Allegiance. Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. My YouTube channel is proudly supported by HauntedFlower.com, shipping officially licensed apparel anywhere in the world, and now featuring Magic the Gathering apparel and accessories. If you use the promo code CGB at your checkout, you can save 10% on any order. That's the promo code CGB at checkout on HauntedFlower.com. That's HauntedFlower.com.